is a place I used to know. This is the house we used.
Hey there, my name is Mike Munzing. As I mentioned last week, I'm now with CRESTLINE Funding. I make these videos usually about one a week, giving you an idea of what's going on in the mortgage industry, what's going on with your real estate, and wanted to kind of keep you update. Once again, CRESTLINE Funding now. I'm a direct lender. A lot of you came to me and said, Mike, we know you've been out here 20 years. We would love to work with you. We have worked with you, but you're still a broker. And the REOs and the short sales are insisting, the lenders are insisting that the pre-approval letters that I provide for you come from a direct lender. I listen to you. I watch what you are dealing with out there. So yes, I'm now with a direct lender, CRESTLINE Funding. Corporate headquarters is over in Irvine. We converted our office down here in San Clemente to CRESTLINE Funding. We have an in-house underwriter. Our company has in-house funding. It's fantastic. All the investors that are out there we're hooked up with, and we do fund with our own funds. It's great. A couple of days ago, one of the B of A reps that's been a longtime friend said, Mike, one of my clients used CRESTLINE Funding. They were able to fund their refinance, actually, in about 12 days. He said, how can they do that? That's the beauty of having the in-house funding, in-house underwriting. It is great, and yes, we can do that. This is the foreclosure update for September today. As you saw the header there. Each month, I bring you the foreclosure report. I watch what's going on. I've been tracking this for over a year and bringing these videos to you. Things are getting a little mellow out there, a little bit benign, and we're going to talk about that. I use information from foreclosureradar.com. I'll bring the logo up here. You can look it up. You can register for it. You can subscribe to it. The owner of Foreclosure Radar is Sean O'Toole. He and I were on the phone for a while yesterday. We stay in touch. We talk about the markets. My job's to be ahead of the curve on what's going on and try to let you know what's happening. I talk to the leaders in the industry, so we have numbers and we have interpreting the numbers, and I try to help do that for you. Let's jump into the charts. Let's run through these charts. Sean has recreated some new charts. I was making my own for a while, but I really like the work he's done. Let's take a look at the chart here. It's a combination of both the notice of default chart up here in green above me and the notice of trustee sale in blue. First comes the notice of default. Now that for this month, for the month of September, was 37,417 properties in the state of California had a notice of default filed on it. Now that's an increase of only 1%, and it's very small, but if you look just directly above me there, you can see that at the tail end there. Directly above me, you can see the big dip, which is exactly a year ago. Can you believe? It's already been 1 year since the SB 1137, a year ago September, where the state of California stepped in and really dipped the number. But now it's definitely trended up. The numbers have been running in the 30 to 40,000 range for quite some time. Look at the blue numbers, also had a dip directly above me, but if you move over to your right on the chart, you can see the numbers there. They dipped about 5% down to 32,457 for the month of September. I'm going to bring up the next chart here. Now this one, a little bit more complicated. They're combining some things on this charts, but we get the red line on top, the gray line in the middle, and the brown line just below that. If you need to pause this video, you can do that to take a closer look. And once again, these numbers go from April, right above me, all the way across to September of 2009. April 08, September of 2009. Let's see what's interesting here. These are the numbers. The red line are the properties that actually sold at the foreclosure, went back to the REOs, went back to the bank, and that was about 13,123 properties, went back to the bank. The number, and that was a drop actually of about 8%, but it's about a 40% drop from last year, which you can see just above me here. Next would be the gray line. That's a new chart that we're watching. That's properties or foreclosures that have been canceled. Now that's interesting because we are kind of expecting that number to be increasing on the cancellations. Obama's got his HAMP program working full speed, and that's the program that they're trying to help folks stay in their homes through loan modifications and refinances. And there's a 3-month moratorium. You put them in there. They can't cancel the foreclosure within 3 months. So after that first 3 months is over, they're supposed to be canceling the foreclosures. This is telling us that the program may not be working as well as they'd hoped. So that the cancellation numbers from last month in August to September actually dropped about 13%. It's kind of a surprise for this month. And next would be the brown one, the brown chart all the way across. Fairly slow rise, very consistent but very slow. That's properties that have been sold to a third party for the state of California. That number is at about 33,084 properties for the month. Okay, the next chart here covers a couple of items, and these are very interesting numbers. Let's start with the blue line. The ones that above me starts below and heads on up. You can see for the about 16, 18 months, kind of goes higher and higher as it goes across the grid here. That is the number of properties that are scheduled to be foreclosed on. That's kind of that number of the scheduled properties. That's up to 140,382 properties scheduled for foreclosure, and that is up 6.92% from last month and a whopping 137% from exactly 1 year ago. That's gone up quite a bit. The next number is the amount of properties that are currently held by the banks. It's a new number, a new calculation that Sean's been able to work out from all his other numbers and calculations and information. He's finally been able to kind of hash out that number. That was the red. Now that's interesting. Watch. It's red above me, right above me at a fairly high clip there, and has dropped steadily down. What that is telling us is that there may not be that big shadow inventory that we've been watching for. That might be getting eaten up here, because if you look down to the far right of your screen here, that property, that number is down to 90,365 properties currently on the market, held by the banks in some form for sale. And so it looks like at different stages. Now some may be in rehab, but with the decreasing numbers on the notice of defaults and the notice of trustee sales, in addition to the properties actually sold back and gone back to the banks, they're picking off this number. This number, as you can see, has been decreasing for a year. So the big estimate of a shadow inventory may not be coming, and that's there should be more properties coming on the market, but this big tidal wave, there's a question mark behind that now. There's some discrepancies of some of the experts that I talk to in the industry. Some are using some fairly broader numbers as people go delinquent. All stages, they're considering that as part of the shadow inventory. Sean and I talked yesterday about that specifically, and he is considering only the properties that have been held by the banks as being the shadow inventory, because a lot of these loan modifications and a lot of these government programs are pushing these properties off the market. They're canceling and they're moving them other ways. Okay, one interesting chart I want to look at. Now this is a different looking chart here. What this shows are the origination date of the loans that are being foreclosed on now, and when those loans, or have been foreclosed on, and when those loans were originally originated. So as you can see, just above me here is it's hard to see, but it's the bell curve here. Really starts up in the 2005 time frame and moves on up and over and comes down, originated towards the end of 2007. And those are the years, the really solid 3 years, 05, 06, 07, were the years where most of the foreclosures are coming from. But thought that would be an interesting chart for you. Okay, I think the biggest point to get from the current foreclosure numbers. Now, what you can also do, and you may want to do this if you want to go back and take a look at those charts more carefully, is on my website, I have the whole report with all these charts on it on my website at www.mikemunzing.com. You can print that out, and keep that, review it, watch the video again, and go through it, and I go chart by chart on that. Hey, I love making these for you. Hopefully you found it informative. I'm here for you, and I'm here for your buyers. Have them give me a call at 949-689-5626. Come to my website at www.mikemunzing.com. All right. Hey, what happened to our winter time? I thought it was coming. It's 90 degrees practically today. So enjoy the weather. Enjoy the weekend. It should be fantastic. Give me a call. I'll be working. Appreciate your time here, and hopefully we'll work together soon. God bless you. God bless your family. Take care. Bye-bye.
This is the house we used to live in. This is a place I